Romi Gill is a mind and body transformation coach that has helped hundreds of people transform themselves by focusing not just on their body, but also on their mind. As a child, Romi was drawn to bodybuilding through his love for superheroes and action figures. From his teenage years, he devoted himself to training and started competing as a semi-professional bodybuilder. When he couldn't see a career opportunity in his passion, he followed the convention in his family and decided on a career in IT as the safer alternative. Feeling he wasn't making the impact his heart yearned for, he kept searching for meaning and purpose. It was not long that Romi fell into a deep depression, but that which brought him pain eventually brought him to the doorsteps of a spiritual awakening. As he healed himself through his newfound strength, Romi was inspired to help others achieve the same. Working both as a full-time programmer, he also started to train people after hours. As if to show he needed to completely embrace his purpose, the universe nudged him closer to a decision he couldn't take on his own. He was fired from his stable job without warning, but that day, Romi decided to give all he had to his love for training people on the principles of the mind and body that had helped him so much in his time of pain. Today, Romi is an award-winning trainer and coach that is transforming lives. Romi's story is of triumph in the face of struggle and rejection as he rose from despair to recreate himself into a successful entrepreneur that he is today. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voice of the Entrepreneur. Today we have again a very special guest. We got Romi Gill with us here, who is a body and mind transformation coach. He doesn't just help you train your body to be in the best shape of your life, but he also works with your mind to get you where you really want to go. So I'm really happy to welcome Romi to my show. Thank you, Romi, so much for coming here, my friend.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Absolutely. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Awesome. Great. I know we talked about before the interview started, before this conversation started, about your story. And what struck me about your story is like so many entrepreneurs that have taken the courageous step of moving from a challenge in their lives in the direction of what they really want to do. You're no different. You did the same thing. I know you talked about you getting fired from a job that you were in. Tell us more about that. How was it like to get fired from a secure position, a secure job, and then going into your passion and your dreams?
Here's the job I had. It was great. I had my own office. It was a small company and there was not much pressure.
Right.
I had to work on a software project and just deal with a few key people in the company.
Right.
So the job was good. I wasn't, nobody would ask me or bother me at all. It was a good position.
Right.
Pay was really good. I was making $7,000 a month, which is a really good pay for somebody to take home.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, from my past experience, I would just get fired. I wouldn't care. I would just go and find another job. I wasn't attached. I had this attitude of detachment.
Mm-hmm.
But when I worked on myself after coming out of my episode of depression, I strengthened my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I became more detached with material objects. It's good to have, and when you don't have it, you're still good. Because if you're attached, if your happiness depends on something or someone, you can guarantee you will be unhappy if that things are taken away from you.
Absolutely.
So I was detached. So being fired was a little upsetting for me because you get comfortable with the money.
Right.
You don't have to worry. You just do your thing. You go to the job. You do the job and come home. You're fine and money's there. You don't have to think. As an entrepreneur, sometimes money is so much like you don't know what to do with it. Other time there's no money.
Right.
So that's the only challenge. Besides that, I was like, oh man. And now I have to find a way to fund myself. So I knew I had 8 months of EI insurance in Canada. We have employment insurance. If you lose a job, you're covered for 8 months. You get basic pay. So I knew I was good for a few months, but I didn't want to rely on it. I wanted to go. I wasn't too upset about it. I decided I'm going to do something about it.
Okay.
I'm not going to cry about it. There's no need crying about it. So I made that decision. So it wasn't too big of a shock for me. I wasn't angry at the people in the company who fired me. I accepted it for what it was. They made the decision. I'm gone.
Right.
The job is gone. I focus on what we can do next. I don't focus on the problem.
Yeah.
I focus on the solution. So I was like, in a way, I was relieved. I'm like, wow,
Right.
now I have all this free time. I can do whatever I want with it.
Absolutely. So that means like you were propelled in the direction where you had to take an action to move in the direction of your passion.
Yeah.
What if that didn't happen? What if you hadn't gotten fired? Do you think that you would have taken the decision to still move to where you are today?
Probably not. I would be comfortable in the job, and I would not go find a different job maybe, but I had done some ventures in the past unsuccessfully, but I would maybe take it easy. I would be comfortable still. I wouldn't be too inspired to make a change. I would do it on the side.
Yes.
So when you do something on the side, that's all it becomes. It's a side project. When you make it a main project, it becomes a main project. Until you take that step, or you decide to work on it as a main project on the side, it becomes something of value. Otherwise, it stays a side project. So I probably wouldn't have.
Right. Really great point you made, that you have to make this project your main priority for things to come in the direction that you want to. And also the point of, I heard you use the word failure, which is such a big word for people to stop and not do anything because they're afraid of the failure. How did you, because you had failure in the past, like all entrepreneurs do, how did you still manage to have the courage to go in this direction and say, despite of the failures that I had, I'm still going to go and give this a real try?
So I knew why I failed. So I made a company where I was doing web design for clients and doing marketing back when social media was very new in 2008, 2007. I was in between jobs. Me and a friend of mine decided to get an office, the usual starting your own business. We started, but we didn't have any structure.
Okay.
So we would get a few clients, and then we'd work on the website, and then in free time we'll watch like cartoons, like South Park for family. So it was fun from school, so we were very comfortable with each other. But we didn't have any vision or like how many clients we need, how much money we need. Expenses were there because of the office, although we got it cheap. But we didn't have this vision, and then we were pulled in different directions. I was trying to do different events too on the side. So when your focus isn't there on one thing, you fail. That's only thing comes to, it was my own responsibility. I'm a go-getter. I can talk to people. Sales is very easy for me. But when you're not doing it, it doesn't happen. Now customers come to me. Things have changed. When in the beginning, I didn't have that much confidence in myself that I could do it. So it wasn't happening.
Absolutely. So true what you said. If you don't take the step and don't take the action, your failure may result in another failure, but it's the learning that's important, and then changing and tweaking things, right? Like you learn, hey, it didn't work to watch Family Guy in the cartoons. Let's do something different now. And then it actually worked. That's amazing. Getting clients, that's the point you made. For any business to survive and to exist, you have to be able to go out there and sell your product. Romi, give us some tips that you use in your business to go out there and get clients for your business.
So as a businessman, I don't see my business or my brand how other people see it. I don't see you as a customer who will look at you and say, well, maybe he will buy it from me or not. So I should be nice to you. I am nice to everyone. I talk about fitness and mindset to everyone every day. You can wake me up anytime at night and I would talk about it. I would be the same like I'm now. A little tired maybe.
Right?
So I believe in giving value to people. So whatever your business is, I believe everybody should talk about it. So let's say you talk about entrepreneurship, you should talk about it all the time. It's in your blood pretty much. You don't have to prepare. You don't have to be authentic. It is in you. You just talk about it. So that's what I do. I keep talking about fitness. I keep talking about healthy eating. I also share the reality of things. Like we were talking about giving up sugar. I said, if you made the decision, do it. If not, don't do it. I see the reality of things. I show people that fitness trainers also eat bad food. So if I'm eating Indian food, sweets that are bad, deep fried,
they're good, but they're not good.
they're not good for the abs or the body long term. So I share that too. I eat pizza, I share it. I'm not like everybody does it. People just don't show it. So I'm real. I say how it is. I'm not always politically correct. but people know that I'm a man of honor. I have integrity. Whatever say, you can call it stubbornness or integrity, and people believe you. So when people know what you do and you're telling the reality of how it is without sugarcoating anything. I don't believe in sugarcoating anything. I say it how it is.
Right.
Some people don't like me, but they still respect me for that because they know what to expect from me.
Right. Right.
And when the customers need training or need to hire a trainer or a coach for their mindset, depression, etc., they come to me. I don't always see them as a dollar sign. I see them as somebody who needs help. I'm giving them value. Not everybody needs to hire me. Sometimes I turn people away too. You got to do that because you have to look out for them also. Because I've been doing that for a long time, now I never have to worry about clients. There's so many clients, sometimes I have to turn away clients. I'm like, I'm busy. I don't have time to, coach you or train you.
That's a great place to be in business, right?
It is. I'm very honored.
Yes, absolutely. So it's about being real.
Yeah.
It's about really being yourself.
Yeah.
And whatever value you have, if you're not hiding it, then you will show it and people will see that. And then eventually you'll have business come out of that as well.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge though, because people are not always comfortable with themselves, right?
Yeah.
You are, I can absolutely see that. But what about people that feel that I have good stuff in me and that I can provide service, but I'm not so comfortable? What do you think that they should do in order to kind of open their mindset about who they are?
Well, here's what the most important thing in business. If you're a personal brand, if you're Apple, you're different. You're selling products. If you're a person, if you're Ahmed promoting yourself, you have to see people buy anything because they like you. If you're hiding yourself, if they like someone who's funny, but you're trying to be all serious and businessy, they're not going to see the real person who they like.
Right.
Maybe if you crack a joke or just be normal who you are with your friends, with the customers, of course you have to, follow some guidelines, how to be respectful and not rude. So you have to see, like, do you want them to be friends with you long term, or do you want them to just buy from you and then go away?
Right.
So when you break it down from that angle, that I want the customers to be vested in me and my brand. Even if you have a company name, you're still the main person. Like Apple was famous because of Steve Jobs. Now he's gone. It doesn't have the same respect or same standing as it had before.
Sure.
So there has to be a driving force behind the business. And if you're the driving force behind it, you have to somewhat show it. If you're very goofy in person, don't be goofy, but just be lighthearted. Just drop the professional corporate act. We put on an act, like we put a tie on, you go out, and so they see you as a stock photo. So don't be a stock photo, be a person. So people like people. I say people buy for emotions. People connect with you for emotional reasons.
Absolutely.
And we like people who are like ourselves.
Yes.
If you're pretending to be something you're not, they will see it, and there will be a disconnect. So if you want to lose the disconnect, just let some part of your personality shine through. It doesn't have to be everything. Over time, when confidence builds up, it will happen automatically.
Wow. That's super great advice, because I think in my personal life, that's what's happened. When I've kind of let go of the wall or the mirror or the shell, right?
Yeah.
People connect with you.
Yeah.
And that's when business happens. Yeah. And now that I'm sure that you get clients coming up to you and saying, Romi, we want the real you, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to get the whatever Instagram version of the person, right? We want the real you, and that's where the value comes in. Great, Romi. I think that's really inspiring. And I know that there's this piece about being real out there that's really being pushed there. Yeah. But what if you feel that your real is not worth showing out there? And I know you talked about it a little bit, but address the fear for me that people can have when they are expressing themselves.
So let's take a most common example. Let's find a person who has tattoos on his arms and neck. Okay. So if you go for a corporate job, or you go out to get certain jobs or connect to certain type of people, they may not find you attractive, or they will find you very different. Right. they don't hate you, but there's some things, some meanings associated with how you are. So people don't fear the look or the attitude or the character you have created for ourselves. We create a character. I pull muscles, somebody puts tattoos on. It's what it is, right? It looks good, right?
Right, exactly.
So you have to see, am I blocking myself? Like I said, am I putting a shell in between me and the other person?
Yes. Right.
Because sometimes we think that person might be weird, but when you talk to them, like, he or she is just like me.
Right.
So we have to, there may be people who won't like you.
Yes.
That's always going to happen. You cannot be liked by everyone, and we have to accept it.
Right.
So when you accept it, even if you're a polished, perfect, stock photo type of person,
right,
do you get liked by everyone? No.
I agree.
So when you know that people like you for who you have become, if you're an honest person, if you have like some sort of honor towards yourself, you have some integrity,
yeah, exactly.
You carry yourself with respect, if you're not doing anything unethical, when you're honest, people will like you who you are.
Right.
And so example I use in the dating game, if you have to pick up girls, you have to talk to a lot of girls. But at the same time, you have to be able to talk to kids. You have to be able to talk to parents. You have to be able to talk to grandparents, everyone. So the skill you need to connect with a female, or females you have to connect with males, is the same. So when you shine, like let's say I'm married now.
Right.
So back when I was single, I used to chase women. I used to pretend to be a nice guy. I would buy them gifts. Nobody cared. Well, they would get the gifts and I'll be forever alone.
And your pocket was a little less heavy.
I joke with my wife. I'm like, I used to chase women. I was forever alone. She laughs. She doesn't believe me. Right, now I'm a different person. I'm like a reborn person.
Yes.
So when I dropped the act, I knew people are not going to like me.
Right.
Or met my wife at the gym. She said, I lost 15 pounds in 3 months. I'm like, oh, you want a cookie? So I just laughed. I'm like, it is very simple. She was shocked, but at the same time, she liked the fact that I was being honest and just saying it how it is, how I am. So she connected with me. Well, now we're married. So it's a success. Yes. So maybe when you are yourself, you will lose some customers, right? But as a business, you will attract so many more customers that a small percentage of customers that are gone is okay. Right. So you got to focus on what you will receive instead.
Yes.
So there's a lot that you don't even know about out there. When you let your true personality shine, people will connect with you because of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's really about being real and dropping the shells, dropping the wall in front of you and coming out as who you are. Completely agree. Romi, you are a mind and body transformational coach. Yeah. Tell us, why do you think that the mindset component is so important for success?
It is one of the best or most important, most critical component of success in anything. So let's say in fitness, what it is you have to do to be fit. You lose all the bad foods, you take out the processed foods, you start eating fruits and vegetables and healthy foods, and you exercise. Pretty basic. But why don't we do it? It's because our mind tells us, oh, there's a Coke right there. There's the sugar, there's the cookie, there's a pizza. Whatever it comes, we can't control our urge to eat it. So what drives that emotion? Our mind. There's lots of studies that certain foods create certain type of triggers. But what we don't focus on is why our mind wants to eat it and why can't we stop it? So there's studies on what's your why.
Right.
There's everybody focuses on your why. But we also need to focus on our why nots. Why don't we do what we don't do? What's our demotivations behind it?
Right.
So when we focus on the demotivation, like I was not successful in my past business because I knew what was my demotivation was. My focus wasn't there.
Right.
So now I know that. So when you know the demotivations, you can remove those, and then you can focus on doing the work.
Right.
Because we missed the work part.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's our mind. Our mind has to be strong enough to know what needs to be eliminated.
Right.
What needs to be focused on.
Absolutely.
Again, 80-20 principle. 80% focus on the work. 20%, well, not 20%, but you got to eliminate everything that is unproductive for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I think the mind component is so important. And you said it exactly, that we can do everything physically, but if our mind's not with us, really, you're not going to get much result. Great insight there, Romi. What I want to specifically know from you as my last question to you is, somebody watching you is saying, I want to be where Romi is. I want to be a trainer, but a mindset and a body trainer, a fitness trainer, but who also works with the mind. What steps, like concrete steps, would you share with my audience that they can perhaps do, tomorrow, in the next week, that will get them started in that journey towards becoming an entrepreneur?
So as a trainer, a lot of trainers have this different mindset that comes from bodybuilding roots. The marketing, the whole process of getting clients is very old school. The things are different now. So basics, you have to either have the knowledge, have some experience in training yourself, other people produce results, being certified, and you either work at the gym or you train at your own location or you train people outside, wherever. So you need to have a facility, experience, some track record of results.
Right.
So that's the easy part. But what happens is, once you get certified, once you put your symbol there that I'm open for business, the clients don't come rushing.
That's always the case, right?
We think that when I won my first bodybuilding competition in 2004. A gym interviewed me and didn't hire me for a receptionist position. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, look at me now.
What a shocker, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's interesting. So we have too much, we think of ourselves as, we have too high expectations of ourselves negatively.
Yes.
Not the confidence wise, but we think we're the greatest.
Right.
I'm the best. I think that, you think that, everybody does. We don't show it off as ego. So when we go to the real world, they see you as just another trainer. So now, if there's 100 trainers, what makes you different?
That's right.
So you got to have something unique about you. In training, there's nothing different. I take you to a gym, I train, I tell you what to eat, what not to eat. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
But then there's got to be some quality about yourself. You're friendly, you're outgoing. You have, like me, I'm vegetarian. So I focus on that. Although I can help people who eat meat also. Right. But that's my unique skill. And how I speak, how I focus on, that's my branding. So besides the physical, tactical part, you have to have something about you, your personality embedded in the business. So when that happens, and then you have to give value. In training, we always think about, I don't want to tell him or her too much. She's not going to get training from me. Like if I give you all the tips how to give you fit, why would you hire me?
Right.
But it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So when you know the truth, and when you just not focus on the pennies, you make big dollars. So not giving tips and advice, you're not focusing on. Some people do that. Other people are very helpful, very cheerful, very outgoing.
Right.
And that sets them apart. They're like, wow, Romi is very friendly. Whenever I ask him, he helps me. He doesn't say, oh, let's sit down and have a consultation.
Right.
To train. So I'm not always selling my services. I'm selling myself. But it's always about you.
Right.
Me personally, when I talk to people, I rarely talk about me. I talk about you more. Like in our past conversation, I gave you some tips about the business.
Right.
And so that engages you to me.
Yes.
I have nothing to lose. If I have knowledge, I like to spread this. I like to you to use it and get some results, which you did now.
Right. No,
that's what I focus on, giving value. So have knowledge, have experience, have some demonstrated results.
Right.
And share value with your clients, everybody.
Right.
So out of that, when people know you're a trainer, they're going to send clients to you.
Right.
As a mindset coach, that is a completely different game. But fitness trainers, they all only focus on the tactical stuff. Eat this, don't eat this. But our mind doesn't work like that. So if somebody wants to be a trainer, I would say, focus on the reasons why they don't eat it and why they don't exercise. We have this ego saying, you're lazy, that's why you don't train. But I know people now, things are different. There's reasons why you don't eat healthy, why you eat healthy or not eat healthy, why you exercise, what motivates you and what demotivates you. Going inside people's mind has taught me that what we see as laziness is not the truth.
Right.
laziness is never the reason. Sometimes it is, but most of the time is never the reason why people don't train or eat healthy.
It's always mindset.
It's always mind and the circumstances around your life that fail you.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Romi, this one point that you just made about giving value keeps resonating. Every time I sit down with a successful entrepreneur, that is their message. Go out there and give value. Give as much as you can without fearing that if I give too much, I'm not going to get anything. So thank you for reiterating this whole thing again. And such great advice. I think there's concrete points and tips that you gave that people can tomorrow say, I could do this. I can go out there and put this into effect and something will come and results will come. So again, Romi, thank you so much, brother, for coming down here and sitting down with me. Thank you for welcoming us in your office, in your house.
Thank you.
Beautiful place you have here. And I really want to see you in your journey and see how you progress. And hopefully one day we'll sit down again and you'll be maybe, 10 steps ahead. So thank you. Thank you again. Guys, this is, again, a wonderful interview. Just so much good stuff that was just shared here. Like Romi said, and I believe in this 100%, and this keeps resonating all the time. It's about giving value. It's going out there and working with people that want to work with you because you've given them value. So don't be afraid to give out too much because you're thinking, I won't get anything in return. Go out there, give it with your heart, and something great will come out of there. So I hope you enjoyed this interview. Until I see you again next time, have a great one, my friend.